Welcome to Tech Learners. Today we will discuss Java for loop. Looping is used to iterate or repeat a set of statements. So there are three types of loops provided by Java: for loop, while loop. So this is the while loop and do while loop. In this lecture we will discuss about for loop. So let us see the syntax of for loop. We use the for keyword and then separated by semicolons there are three parameters. In the one, initialization statement, second the termination statement, and third the updation statement. For a loop we want to repeat a statement, so inside these curly brackets we write the statements which we want to repeat. So there are four major things associated with the for loop. One, from where the loop will start. Second, at what point the loop will terminate. Third, the update statement, that means step-by-step updation. And fourth, the statements which are to be repeated. Let's see the for loop in a Java program. Flow of the for loop. So the compiler first executes this initial statement. That means the I will be assigned the value 0. Then compiler goes to this termination condition and checks whether the termination condition is true or false. So if it is true, then the flow goes inside the body of the loop and these statements are executed, and in the end the flow of the compiler comes to this update statement. So this is the flow. One, initial statement. Second, the termination condition. If this is true, then the flow comes inside the body, and then third and the last, that is updation condition. What happens if this condition is false? Then the flow directly comes out of the loop. So assignment, then condition is checked. On true, the body of the loop is executed, and lastly the variable is updated. And if the condition is false, then we directly exits the loop and comes out of the loop. So this is a simple Java program using for loop. Here I have used a variable, integer variable I is equal to 0. So this is a for loop where we want to print this simple statement 5 times. Yes, we want to repeat printing this statement 5 times. So how we will be using the loop? Let us look at this. So this is the initial condition. So we'll initialize the variable. Here I have used I variable that has been initialized with the value 0. This is the termination condition separated by a semicolon. So it is going till I is less than 5. And lastly, this is the update condition. So here we are updating the value of I by 1. So in this way, I will begin from 0, will update 1 by 1 from 0 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, and will go till I is less than 5. That means till 4. So the loop will execute from 0, 1, 2, 3 and till 4. So this is 5 times, and 5 times this statement will be printed. So let us see the output of this program. So you can see that this output, so the statement is executed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and this is the outside the loop. So in this way we can repeat simple statement, single statement or multiple statements more than once. Imagine if we want to print this statement 100 times, so this could be very easy. We want to replace this 5 just by 99, as we are beginning from 0, so till 0 less than this has to be 100. So from 0 to 99, that is 100 times. We can also use here less than equal to condition. So now let me tell you, this is the statement. That means here we will be using any assignment statement which will indicate that from where the loop will begin. So we cannot write here any single variable. So just writing a single variable will give us an error. This is not a statement. So here it should be a statement, that is assignment statement. Now this assignment statement can be used with integer variables, can be used with character variables, can be used with long, short, and even can be used with the string variables also. It has to be a statement, assignment statement. On the right hand side we can use the expression, for example 0 plus 2. So 0 plus 2 is an assignment and the value will be assigned to this I. So it can be anything. Even we can use a conditional operator also. Here we can use any operator, plus, minus, any expression, but it has to be simple assignment statement assigning the initial value to the variable from where the counting of the loop will begin. The second is a termination condition. So here we have to write a boolean value. So remember, we need to replace or write here any statement which will return a boolean value. Remember, this is a relational operator. So here we are comparing I with 100. So this will return either true or false. So in this case here we will have either true or false. Until we have a true value, the loop will continue, and once we have a false value, we will exit the loop immediately. So till when the I is less than 100, the value will be true, and once it is not less than 100, the value will be false. So we are starting I with 0 and we are updating I with 1. So this is also has to be a statement, and that is to be assignment statement which will update the value of the variable. So here we are updating the value by 1 only. So we can do it by 2 also. So here we can write I is equal to I plus 1 instead 1. We can write 2 also. We can also use any algebraic expression on the right hand side, but we have to use the assignment value here. So we can also use here instead this. So this is the increment operator. I have made a separate video for increment and decrement operators. You can go through. So this is the abbreviation for I is equal to I plus 1. We can also use. This is also a kind of assignment statement. Yes. So this has to be assignment statement. So what we have learned, this has to be an assignment statement, the initial assignment statement. This has to be assignment statement which will update the value, and this has to be a boolean, that is a boolean returned value. So we will write some statement here which will return you a boolean value, either true or false. We can use any logical conditions here, and also, or also, right? So this is how we use a loop, and inside the brackets we write the statements, a single statement. We can also write the multiple statements. Now let me show you, can we eliminate this initial condition if I do not write anything here? So can this loop run? Yes, this will run, because we have a variable I is equal to 0 initialized already. So we will enter inside the loop and the loop will execute. So let me show you by compiling. Right, this is here. Okay, so this is how we can use this without using this. Can we eliminate this condition also? Right. So whether there will be any error. Let me see. Unreachable. Right. So let me comment this first. Okay. So if I am not using any condition here, that means I am not using any termination condition. This will tend the loop to go into a infinite loop. So it will never exit. So let me show you. If I compile this, close, and if I'll run, so yes, this is keep going on. So this is an infinite loop, so we will never get out of this loop. So if we'll not use any termination condition, so we'll get inside the infinite loop. So That is why the termination condition is important. Now let me show you. Can we have this eliminate this update condition? Yes, we can also eliminate this update condition. We can eliminate any of the three conditions, but we'll have to use the syntax. That means we'll have to use this semicolons. So what will happen if I eliminate this update condition? So the loop will enter with the value I is equal to 0, and it will remain I is equal to 0 always, because there is no updation condition, and it will never reach to the termination condition. Again, the same concept, it will go to the infinite loop. So let me show you again. As we are not updating the value of I, so it will always remain 0, and again, right, you can see it is keep going on. So that is why these two conditions are important. So we'll have to use these update and termination conditions, right? So it is better to use all the three values. Alternatively, what we can do is, let me show you. If I am not writing a termination condition here, I can write the termination condition here using if I is less than 5 and with the help of a break statement. So it will behave in the same manner where I have written the condition here. So now let me show you. I will compile, I'll close, and I'll run. This loop will execute something like this, right? So if it is less than 5 means either 0, 1, 2 or 3. Let me change this condition to, if it is let me write equal to 5. Now this should execute when I was 0, 1, 2, 3 until 5. So let me compile, let me close and execute this for you. Right, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this is the loop begin at 0 and executed this statement, then compared the condition and then updated. So let me show you the flow. So this is how you can replace this condition here by these two statements, right? So I'm just going back to this place, right? Can we eliminate this? Yes, we can eliminate, and you can also alternatively use the update condition here. I is equal to, you can use I is equal to I plus 1 here also. So this will behave same as you have done here. It will behave same. Let me show you just by compiling this. Let me close, let me run. Okay, right there. So we have the output. And if I eliminate all these three things, so I can rewrite this for loop something like this. If I is less than 5, I'll write a break statement and then the updation statement. So let me compile, let me okay, in this case let me use I is equal to 5. Let me compile, close and execute. So you can see this is behaving in the same manner. The statements is printing 6 times because we are beginning with 0 and we are going till 5. So 0 to 5 it is 6. So this is how we can use the for loop. It is advisable that you follow the conditions, write the initial condition, then write the termination condition, and then write the updation condition here. Okay, so this is just the counting, and we can also use the reverse manner also. So we can begin with 5 and we can change this condition greater than 0 and we can update like this. So we are going 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and 0 in this case. So let me compile, close and execute. Right. So this is the same output. What is the difference? We are counting 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That is in the same way we are counting 5 times. We can also use the skip counting 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. We can use 2, 4, 6. We can use 10, 20, 30. We can use. So this is how we run a for loop, and you are aware now what are the importance of these three fields. Instead of integers, you can also use the other data types also, char also, you can use different. Okay, let me show you something more. If I want to print the value of the variable I, so this is more important because we want to update values, so this is a more dynamic. We'll close and right, so these are the 5 4 3 2 1 reverse values of the variable. This is how we should play with the variables. If I use some mathematical operator with this, so you will have a 5 into 2, so this is we'll have 5 into 2, 4 into 2, so this is 5 into 2 10, 4 into 2 8, 3 into 2 6, right, like this. Can we use multiple assignment statements here? So let me show you. If we have two variables, so we can separate the assignment conditions by comma. So we can use multiple assignment statements here. Similarly, we can use multiple conditions also, but here we'll have to use logical operators. So logical operators like we can use and, or we can use or, so that the final result of these multiple conditions is a boolean value, either true or false. So here we are comparing whether I is less than 5 or j is less than 4. So we have used multiple conditions and those conditions are related with the or operator, right? Now can we use multiple updations also? Yes, we can use multiple updations also. As we are updating the variable I, we can also update the variable j here. So I am updating this value of the variable j here. So now this loop is based on two variables, so it will check both the things. Both the variables have initialized this has to be j. Okay, so both the variables have initialized with 0, so I is 0 at the initial point, j is 0 at the initial point. Then the flow will come to this condition, it will evaluate this. So at this point I is less than 5, yes, true, and j is also less than 4, true. In between we have or operator, so the resultant of this will also be a true value. Now the flow will directly come inside this loop and this statement will be executed, and later on once the statement is executed we'll go to the update statement. So I will be updated by 1 and j will be updated by 1. So this is how the loop will execute. Now it will keep executing, and once the j is equal to 4 we will exit the loop. Why? Just see here the condition. We are checking either I is less than 5 or j is less than 4. So once j is equal to 4, this condition is false. No matter, this is still true, but the composite result of these two using or operator will be still true, right? So this is the or operator, and if we use and operator here, now as this will be false, the composite relation will also be false. So we will exit the loop. So let me compile and show you the output of this condition. So you can see 0 1 2 3, this is executing till 3. So this is how we can use the multiple assignment statements here, multiple condition statements here but related to each other, and here multiple updation statements here. So this is the for loop. I hope you have understood the loop. You can comment and ask any of the query you want about the for loop. We will discuss this in more detail in upcoming lectures. Thank you so much.